The first match tonight saw Liv and Raquel defending the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Gigi and Tatum. And yes, I am classing this as a personal attack to start the match with Liv and Tatum. Who am I supposed to root for in this? Shawn Michaels hates me confirmed to book that. I'm telling you right now. I will say though, why did we have commercials during this match? Now, commercials are fine, but normally on Netflix mid-match, you don't get commercials, but we did. And it was really weird because when we came back from the commercial, Vic Joseph was talking as if commentary hadn't stopped like they normally do on Netflix. Very weird. It is what it is though, but the impressive thing to remember here is that Liv and Raquel, this is their third match in 3 days. WrestleMania Sunday, Raw, and NXT. They are the workhorses of WWE. Which makes it even more impressive, and still Women's Tag Team Champions, Liv and Raquel! Absolutely love to see it. Question now becomes, what's next for the tag champs? They've seemingly done everything recently. They've faced most of the tag teams in the women's division, so who's next? I'm still hoping it's Alexa and Nikki, but we'll have to see. Not even one segment into NXT, and Vic Joseph called out Booker T for falling asleep at the Hall of Fame ceremony. Brilliant. It's worth noting, no Shotzi with Gigi and Tatum tonight. Shotzi only returned to TV last week for NXT, not in Vegas for this NXT episode. I don't know, man. What are they doing with Shotzi? The North American champion Ricky Saints will come out tonight talking about his win over Ethan Page at Stand and Deliver. He was interrupted by the Heritage Cup champion Lexis King, who demanded a match next week. And if Lexis could retain his Heritage Cup, it would be champ versus champ in a winner-takes-all match. That could be very fun indeed. We found out from social media earlier today that Penn and Teller actually did give the Heritage Cup back to Lexis King. Such a shame. I was hoping they was going to scrap the Heritage Cup and replace it with a championship belt because that would have just been cooler. Obviously not. But they did add the stipulation to give the cup back. Lexis King had to face a mystery opponent tonight. The opponent was Noam Dar. Noam Dar back in NXT. It feels like he's been gone super long. I love him in the match, trying to rub off Lexis King's beard. Thought that was really good. Nice little touch there. Noam Dar successful tonight, regaining the Heritage Cup. Great to see him back. Great to see. And you know Noam Dar and the Heritage Cup just go together now, don't they? I saw a lot of people on social media saying, but wait, they didn't really mention Metaphor at all with Noam Dar. Is like Metaphor done? It's right there on his name graphic. So no, it's not done. Lexis King would attack Ricky Saints in the back later on in the night after it was confirmed the match will still happen next week with only the North American title on the line. Thea Hale would defeat Fallon Henley tonight in one-on-one action. Good God, I love Thea Hale's new theme song. I like the one she had last week with Eddie Edwards' theme song stuff, but genuinely this new one's really cool too. Great to see Thea Hale back, but we got to ask the question, is everything okay in Fatal Influence? Obviously, a bit of tension tonight as Fallon Henley would sort of talk. It looked like Jacy might be facing Thea, and Jacy just turned around and said that you can do it. And then obviously mid-match, Jayne would accidentally boot Fallon Henley. Is there some problems? Are we seeing the start of the end of Fatal Influence, maybe? By the way, I love Hank and Tank and Thea Hale. Shawn Michaels, okay, right. If you want forgiveness for starting that tag match with Liv and Tatum, how about a deal, okay? 6-person tag match, Hank, Tank, and Thea Hale versus anyone. I don't care. I want to see it. I think that would be really fun to see. Trick Williams would interrupt Obafemi tonight. Now, at first, I honestly thought, oh, here we go again. Are we still on this? But there was a giant surprise in store as TNA champion Joe Hendry would show up. Joe Hendry coming to the ring, calling Trick Williams a whiny bitch, saying the reason he didn't win the title was because of Trick. Trick is entitled, and the reason he was here was to talk to the NXT champion, Obafemi. Are we going to be getting Joe Hendry versus Oba? The champions would unite against Trick Williams and then a face-off between the two. Trick's though still in the background. A heelish Trick Williams, which is kind of interesting. I like the dynamic of that. We'd see a really angry Trick Williams backstage just crashing everything he could find. Interestingly though, he hit the ground with a pipe and that's it, it cut the camera. Why did the camera cut? Because he hit the ground. What? We all wondered what was next for Stacks. Obviously, we saw the heel turn at Stand and Deliver. He turned on Tony. He turned on the family. But we did wonder if the family could join Stacks. Well, he lured Luca Crusifino to the desert today. And right at the end, all he said was, "Do you know why I lured you out here?" Oh. Does that mean that Luca Crusifino is dead? Like, he's in the desert, he's probably got buzzards eating his intestines as we speak? Yes, I think it does. R.I.P. Luca. Later on, Tony D'Angelo would send Adrianna Rizzo to a safe house. Why? Now, here's an interesting thing they put in here. Adrianna would speak about her loyalty to Stacks, the person who taught her to fight. Is she going to be happy that Tony just sent her away? Could she join Stacks? I really do wonder if we're going to get the family uniting against Tony. While it's implied that Luca Crusifino is a mill for cacti, honestly, we never know if it's true or not, do we? So a tag match was made for tonight as two members of Darkstate would take on Miles Bourne and Javon Evans. The other members of No Quarter Catch crew would arrive mid-match and they'd appear onto the ramp. Very hard to see what they thought though. They didn't look too happy that Miles Bourne was in this match teaming with Javon. But genuinely a great showcase and a great highlight for the ability of Miles Bourne. Now obviously Darkstate did pick up the victory, remaining undefeated in NXT. Maybe some problems with NQCC to keep an eye open for, but I want to talk about this. Darkstate. Their booking so far for me has been actually really good. This week, not so much. I don't want to see them in backstage promo segments. They're a group of misfits who destroy people, not stand around talking. Javon Evans is a victim of Darkstate, yet they're basically stood shoulder to shoulder and they're not brawling. I really hope that NXT doesn't fall into the category of like booking retribution, where it starts off really impactful, really cool, and then just dials it back a little bit and they just become other guys on the roster. Don't want to see that at all. I want them to be unique. One thing I really did like, though, was Obafemi tonight. Obafemi putting over Javon Evans after the match at Stand and Deliver, saying while he's not reached that point yet, he's got a very bright few years ahead of him. We found out next week Josh Briggs and Inamura will take on Hank and Tank for the NXT Tag Team titles. Let's be fair, this segment was gold. Inamura would get a pity party from Ava, and she gave him everything he wanted. Brilliant. All is right with the world as Andre Chase would pull out the sweater. Chase U is coming back. Very happy to see that. Hopefully we get more on that next week on NXT. Stephanie Vaquer would win the Women's Championship main event match, defeating Roxanne Perez. Very surprised no Cora Jade coming out to get revenge on Roxanne for leaving her at Stand and Deliver. And after the match, we would get Julia and Jordan Grace in the audience, obviously watching the NXT Women's Champion. So probably a triple threat match coming up. Let's be honest, there was nothing wrong with this episode of NXT. But after the insanely hyped Monday Night Raw we had last night, coming off of WrestleMania, it did feel like a big fall, didn't it? Let's not lie about that. Obviously, we was in Las Vegas still. The crowd are probably very tired. They've probably been to a lot of wrestling shows this last weekend. So we'll see what happens for next week's NXT. But I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. And solely for those reasons, I have to give this show a 6. I don't want to be too harsh on it. There was nothing wrong with it. The wrestling was fine. The storylines were fine. But it just needed a little bit more, didn't it? It needed more energy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time. Peace!